Australian rules football? In the U.S.? That's right. The United States Australian Football League is in a city near you. Go to USAFL.com, find your team, check them out. We're a group full of men and women just like you. Join us for the fun athletic competition. Stay for the camaraderie.
We are the champions!
Log on and sign up to join your team at USAFL.com.
From the Surf Cup Sports Ground in San Diego, California, this is the 2017 USAFL National Championships Women's Division I. Coming up next, it's a game between the Seattle Grizzlies and the Montreal Angels. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Barish. Great to have you along for another game from the largest Australian football tournament anywhere in the world. Yes, that includes you, Australia. And a good game here between two teams that lost earlier this morning. San Francisco defeated Seattle 34-0 in the opening game of the Women's Division I competition. Seattle is in the black jumpers with the green trim against Montreal, who are in the purple. Montreal had trouble kicking straight against Minnesota. They kicked one goal, 8-14, falling to Minnesota 3-3-21 as Minnesota ran out 7-point winners. Joining me in commentary, a man you've heard do a few games on this little stretch here for us at Nationals from Girls Play Footy, and the second runner-up in the Awesome Music Guy contest. I was nowhere I was going with that, but that's okay. It's Peter Holden. Good morning, good afternoon, Peter.
Well, as they say, you dug the hole, you fill it. No. Thank you very much, Brian. Great to be here at Surf Cup Sports Park in San Diego to bring this Women's Division I Pool A game. Not only are they looking for their first win, Seattle, they're looking for their first score. They didn't score against San Francisco. Montreal losing to Minnesota, I think many would look at going, that is a major upset. Yeah. I think many were predicting, particularly the quality of the side. Margot Legault, Amy Legault, Gabrielle Bureau, Caroline Leduc, Valerie Moreau. You start to reel off those names, and people were going, oh, they would just destroy a side. And for Minnesota to take their scalp, that makes it a big uphill climb for Montreal. Montreal really have to rack up a big score against Seattle, all respect to the Grizzlies, and then they need to beat San Francisco and dent their percentage as well. So it's an uphill climb for the Angels.
And having seen San Francisco just defeat Minnesota just now, that's going to be no mean feat to get over San Francisco, and I think the Iron Maidens will love to have seen that result play out earlier today when they fell to Minnesota, because that makes the road to the grand final a little bit easier for them, you would think.
Indeed. Let's have a look who is going to be on the ball. Dickinson, I can see, the captain for Seattle. She's got the big job. She's gone directly against Valerie Moreau. Lewis starting in the rack for Seattle. I felt that she won most of the tap-outs in her game against San Francisco. The only thing is, and it comes with new players, was she was tapping it forward, but not to advantage. When you tap it forward, you can see the setup here from Montreal. They're sitting back off the ball. This would feed directly to the rover of the Angels. So she's got to learn and be taught away that when you're winning these taps, you're tapping it sideways. You're tapping it to Bo on the left-hand side. You're trying to get it to her advantage. And if I was her, definitely tap it to Bo, because if you tap it, even though Dickinson is respected, you're up against probably the best player in the tournament in Valerie Moreau, so you want to stay from that right-hand side.
It looks like Joanna Rutkowski, all 6'4" of her, is playing in the ruck. The U.S. Liberty will be very familiar, especially Valerie Barber-Axtell. 2 years ago in the Parallel Cup, she played for the Midnight Suns against them, and really, I think, had showed her an experience. She had just started playing, but really has picked up, and you can't teach tall, I guess, is how the ruckman goes, so to speak. But Seattle, a lot of new players, but they have a couple of veterans, as we mentioned. Barbara Axtell is in there. We mentioned Bo, Marion Dickinson as well, who's an Australian-born. So as we waiting for
a football to start with.
Yeah, or it's sort of like the invention of the game basket, which was a year or so before James Naismith added the ball.
Well, as we look at the players to watch for the Montreal Angels that we talk about again with Amy Legault, she was the player of the tournament for IC14, and Valerie Moreau, the player of the tournament for IC17. So quality talent. Legault, of course, was a former semi-professional soccer player.
Yeah.
Moreau at the moment is actually playing in Australia, playing with the Eastern Devils, trained over the summer with the Victorian Women's Football Academy as well. Great pedigree. Margot Legault, great player off the half-back line for them. You throw in the likes of Caroline Leduc, Leduc as an attacking midfielder, Gabrielle Barreau. They had experience, of course, playing as part of the Wild Bunch,
yes,
the Boston-Montreal combination that finished second in second division last year here at the Nationals.
Yeah, and you have some other players, too, to keep your eye on. Larissa Andrews-Cision, who's a very accomplished Gaelic football player in Montreal, as I think we finally have a footy out there. Maybe not.
Yeah, well,
here it comes. As well as, just an interesting, real quick, Sarah James is on this team as well. She's actually an American who is from Burlington, Vermont, and this is her closest footy club. It's just over the border in Montreal.
Well, they've got 2 balls now, and the umpire, I think, here was calling for one. He doesn't realise the umpire behind him's got a ball. He holds the wall aloft. There's the whistle. Brian, we're underway.
Here we go. Angels and Seattle, and out of the ruck, I believe that was Hamilton who went in there. And then here's Valerie Moreau with her very first touch. She bootlegs around, takes that one up. A nice weighted kick, but it's marked defensively. And so here comes Seattle back the other way. Good idea by Moreau. Throw that one up. Well, that was an ugly kick. That will go in short. And then taken down off the football. Stayed with it, however, shoveled it forward. There is Andrews-Cision in there. Up over the top, off the hands of Rakowski, who had to go down low. Hamilton got free. Umpire blows and calls a free kick that's been awarded. It will go to Montreal in the center of the ground, just underway here as the free kick was given to Roxanne Besner. Besner will go in short. That one is deflected. Moreau in on top of it. She's punching at the footy and trying to get it out of there, and the umpire crosses his arms. We'll have a ball up. First minute of footy, no score. Seattle and Montreal, Division 1.
Talifer tries to get the ball going there for the Montreal Angels. Spilled free. Margot doing a little bit of shepherding work. And here's Amelia Carr. I was impressed with her in the opening game of the tournament. Tries to get a hand pass to get it going. Carr playing further up the ground when she played deep defence in that other game. Dickinson goes with a hand pass backwards. Past Okosa. Looking for Carr again. She's run out of space over the boundary line and out of bounds while under pressure there from Audrey Talifer. No score either side. We have played a minute and a half into this first half here as part of this Women's Division 1 Pool A game. USAFL.com as the ball is thrown back in. Drasden past her, couldn't pick it up. Lego, hand pass out while under pressure, try to put it into space. Big tackle on by Bow, wrapped up her opponent beautifully, but taken away there by Leduc, who's been touring California as a tourist over the last month or so. Valerie Barber-Axthelm was there at the back, did well, tried to get it to Dickinson, who was under pressure, dropped the football, went in to fight for it again. The cavalry did arrive now. The umpire signal one for too high or throwing. Either way, Moreau's disappointed because she was away. She had the football, away. But the umpire says the Grizzlies will have the ball.
Free kick from the left halfback flank. No score. Ball goes into the center of the ground. And that one skips by. Big hit put in there by the Grizzlies. Oh. And a free kick has been given. My goodness, she was flattened on her back there.
Legault definitely copped that one over the shoulder.
In fact, so it is Margot Legault, who also played alongside her sister Amy in the International Cup runner-up and going back to 2014 and 2011. Ball dropped in front of Barbara Axtell, but that one's going to come back. And it's a free kick that will be paid to the Angels. Coming all the way back. So here is the number 10 for Montreal, who is Amy Legault, wearing her trademark number 10. Legault, she is an AFLW caliber player. She sends that one in short. It's down. Going after it as Barbara Axtell picked it up, and she's going to get paid a free kick here. So Seattle putting up the wall, battening down the hatches. So far, so good. No score.
As here's the kick towards the halfback flank. Bow threw her hands up in the air, couldn't take them up. Room was out there at the back. Okosa had it, then tried to bounce it, but more dropped the football. Tried to come back inboard, looking for Paul Boy, couldn't find her. Amy Legault has the football, did a run around through traffic, gave off the hand pass, used the agency of Gabrielle Barreau, then kicked it long inside 50. Fast mover of the football, that's what I'm expecting from Montreal, but it's gone away to the right-hand side. Now there was a whistle as it went through. Let's see what the umpire says. Now, was he pulling for a free kick or... No, it went out of bounds, pardon me, next to the right-hand point post. There you are. So we'll have it thrown back into play. Going up in the air. Kosa was there. Ball hit the ground. Umpire says there's a free kick to be pulled out of this, and it will be going the way of the Montreal Angels. This is going to be a tight shot, Brian, in the forward pocket, and we'll be kicking for goal on a very acute angle as the player down behind plays just getting up, feeling a little worse for wear.
Yeah, you can see the bird circling around her head there as getting knocked on the rear end. But as Peter mentioned, this will be kind of a tough ask. The angle about 80 degrees, and we see a number 7 there. I believe that's Caroline Tremblay. So here is Tremblay now, as she's about to send that one forward, and in fact, it's gone through. Has it? Yeah, it has, for a minor score. Thank you very much. The umpire was ambling his way over to the flag. 1-0 on the Coopers scoreboard. Montreal leading Seattle. And Montreal, as we mentioned, that surprise loss earlier to Minnesota. Of course, kicking 1 goal, 8. You probably don't deserve to win many games. As Valerie Barber-Axtell, out of the fullback position, goes up the left side. Mark taken nicely. And here comes the Grizzlies up the far side, high up into the air. That one drops ahead of Poor Boy, and then that one is kicked out into the middle again as they try to corral it, but it hurt her leg, hit her knee, and bounces over and out for a boundary throw-in, with Montreal still leading 1-0.
As we'll have a throw-in inside the forward half here for Montreal. Back into play over the head there of Lewis. At the back, hurried little hand pass, looking for Poor Boy, who puts on the afterburners. Impressive run. Poor Boy on the right boot, decides to put it in towards the central corridor. Sitting and waiting for it, and almost being claimed, but managing to shrug the tackle there. I think it was Kennedy, who now got it going on. Found it to Brown, who had it. Then was looking for Amy Legault, who went without the football, went back, got it again, put her dancing shoes on, gave off the hand pass, hurry kick towards the top of the square. Mark taken at the very last line of defence, and it was taken by Dominique Gouden, and she will decide to come out of defence looking for a captain in Dickinson, but Moreau wearing her like a glove. Moreau got it, shoveled it out very quickly. Going in to try and pick it up there was the player in Caroline Leduc, but the umpire said it was all wrapped up and will call for a ball up. 45 metres out from the Montreal goal. They lead by 1 point.
Seattle defense really impressing me here in the early going, Peter. As you mentioned, Poor Boy and Dickinson, they are wearing them. It's almost like chewing gum. By the end of the game, we'll know what flavor they are, using the old Hoosiers parlance. And we'll go back here. And the ball will be tossed up. Or no, I'm sorry, that will be given to Rutkowski. So here is Joanne Rutkowski, who will go back. Played for the Hamilton Wildcats at one time in the USAFL. She sends that one towards goal. That's going to get around. If it bounces through, Legault is there. She's able to keep it in play. Tried to get around from one tackle. She was claimed. Holding the ball is the call. And 77 in there for Seattle, Peter. I think that's...
Acocer.
Acocer, thank you so much.
Acocer.
Acocer, thank you. That's see, I don't know how you do things in Kangaroo Land, but we pronounce our R's as it goes up that far side.
Every day's Pirate Day here.
Arr, yep. So continuing up the far side as the ball goes to ground. It wasn't that funny, but here's Legault as she spins away, kicks that one in towards the sticks. That carried pretty well. Umpire says it's a goal. Amy Legault doing Amy Legault things, getting away from one defender and just sneaking it inside the goalpost, and that extends the lead of the Angels on the Cooper scoreboard. That takes them on to 1-1-7. Seattle yet to score.
Conditions warming up here at San Diego. Could do with the Coopers or two, and Montreal leading by 7 points. Amy Legault slotting that one through. Amy Legault, of course, captain of the Canada Northern Lights in IC17 and IC14 respectively. Like Moreau, played for the Eastern Devils for a year or two back in Melbourne when she wanted to try her hand at the AFLW draft. She wants to play AFLW, but it's the issue of trying to get a visa. So if anyone's loaded and wants to sponsor her, get onto her now, because we'd love to see her playing AFL Women's. As the ball hits the ground, in goes Ledoux. Can't get the football out. Now it's hashed out to Moreau. Had the ball on the ground. Little toe poker. Got it back again. And rocket goes. Takes a bounce. Couldn't control it. Got the football back. Got away from Olivia Lewis. Went long inside 50. Went through the fingertips of Godin there. Very close towards the boundary line. Does good. Slaps it towards the boundary. And no, the umpire says you've nudged it in the back on the way through. The player at the moment lying down on the ground. And like you said before, a bit of tweet, 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 tweet going around the head there.
Yeah, that's Caroline Tremblay, who went down, stayed with the football well, but yeah, I think that was the right call, Peter. Just getting pushed in the back on the way through to go after the footy. She is not getting up, and I don't know if she got her head or what happened there. But
face planted, essentially.
Yeah, is that a ground falcon? Is that what that is?
It could be. If it was back in Australia, it would say she just copped a mouthful of Merry Creek dirt, but... she's going to get up now, go, oh, my teeth's still there, and then just try and shrug it off, and then have a drink, and then say, okay, let's get going, and let's And she's getting a bit of a clap from her teammates saying, come on, you can shake this off. The one thing that will make players jump up the quickest, though, is once you say, what's going on? You got to kick on goal. Oh.
Really?
And all of a sudden, okay, I'm fine. Tremblay now goes for a flat kick. Did it get through the pack? It didn't. Right on the last line. The Grizzlies managed to clear the football, looking for poor boy. Ball got away from her. Dickinson's now got it. Wrapped up by Moreau. Thought it was a throw. Umpire was blindsided. Valerie Barber-Axtell manages to charge the way through, got the ball moving forward. Now giving the don't argue there for the Seattle Grizzlies. The umpire says holding the football.
Yep, absolutely.
And Dufour will get the resulting free kick for the Angels. She laid it on, but no, the umpire hasn't spotted it and decided to give it to Caroline Leduc instead. She'll have it between centre wing and half forward flank.
So here's Leduc, who'll throw that one onto the right, travels towards goal. Not caught, but there is Legault, who had to go through her fingertips, goes around and getting knocked to the ground again. My goodness, they are getting hammered around pretty much. 42. Actually, I think that was Sarah James, as we mentioned, from Burlington, Vermont, representing the 802. So the free kick will be given out to the near side off the foot of Annabelle Braun, who is one of the Aussies on this team. Found a connection out in that pocket again in Tremblay. So here is Caroline Tremblay, who sets sail, and that one, did it sneak inside the goal post or the behind post? No, it didn't. I believe that went out on the full. In fact, it has. On the Cooper's scoreboard, it is 7-0. 1 goal, 1 plays no score. Brian Barish alongside Peter Holden. Glad to have you with us. The 2017 USAFL National Championships here in San Diego, California, our biggest tournament ever of this variety, with 53 teams across 6 divisions and 8 teams here in the Women's Division 1. All of them stand alone. We've never had that before.
And trying to find Dominic Gordon there, but the ball did bounce away from her and went out of bounds. Valerie Barber-Axtell, as we mentioned in another game, of course, played for the USA Liberty and their tour of Melbourne, ended up being given the Liberty's player of the tournament. Long kick there, courtesy of a rushed shot on goal for the Montreal Angels by Roxanne Besner. That was 33, so Roxanne Besner, and that will register as a minor score. So that now makes them 1-8 Montreal. Seattle yet to score. We've got 8.5 minutes remaining in this term as we wait for the ball to be kicked in from full back. Looking for April Lewis, who's charging towards the ball. Kept it in play. Sneaky little hand back there. Moreau was waiting for it. Got it across there. Again to the player in Besner, who had to try and shrug off a couple. Managed to put it in towards the central corridor. 35 metres out from goal. Stacks on the mill. I can see poor boy standing around. Bo's there as well. And the player that chased up her own kick in Besner. But the umpire says it's all locked in. We're going to call for a ball up deep inside the Angels forward line.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door, because they are in fact Angels. Rutkowski couldn't get to it. Besner dug it out the back. Moreau off a one step. Is that coming around? Well, it did, but it's marked defensively. So Seattle, and I'll tell you what, the wind is picking up even more, and they're going to have it in the second half. Looks for poor boy on the far side, or check that. That was Bo, who was knocked down. Stayed with the footy is Legault. Amy Legault is held up, and she's wrapped up for Hanukkah, and the ball will be thrown up again with the score 8-0 here on the Cooper scoreboard here on USAFL.com. And the ball will go up in the air as that one is played forward, and that one is kicked forward by the Grizzlies up the far side, kept in, and again, that is Leduc. She is wrapped up there by Hamilton, and the ball will tumble out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw and directly across from us, as I was going to say, testing out my new set of teeth.
Thank you very much. As the ball is thrown back into play, play nearly got falconed Andreasen on the way through, and the umpire said it was all fair play on. Grizzlies now move the ball up towards the wing position. Can they get someone onto it to make a decent run? That is the crucial question that they're asking. Their captain and Dickinson was just running over the ball there, couldn't pick it up. Moreau's looking on, and umpire's pulled out a free kick, and it's gone the way of the Angels. Wanted to play advantage. The umpire said, no, you have to bring the football back, and we will go again one more time. So a chance here for Montreal in the centre of the ground to try and extend their lead. 8 points is not a comfortable margin to sit on by any means of the imagination. Short little kick to Andreasen. Couldn't get to her. Going in there is Moreau. The umpire's pulled out a free kick, and it's going the way there of the Grizzlies. And it might be to the number 4 there, which is Tegan Hamilton. And Hamilton, ironically, I called a game of football in Hamilton earlier this year, Hamilton Victoria, which was the pride game between Melbourne University and Darebin. Going out for Bow on the wing on the outer side. Now kicks it long up the line. Back there is Leduc. Went through her hands. Has to try and go back and get it again. Got dispossessed of the football. Peterson was there with her. Couldn't extract the pill. It's all locked in. The umpire's circling. Doesn't go to blow the whistle. Close towards the boundary line now. Will it go out? Margot Legault was circling the pack. Out towards Leduc. He put it on the right. Went high. Moreau stayed down and didn't go up in that contest. Olivia Lewis tried to get a hurried little kick out of there. Didn't work out. Angels just trying to hold on. They're going where Angels fear to tread, really, and now trying to put it on there for Parrott, who moved it forward, but only towards a sea of Grizzlies. Hand pass to April Lewis. Lewis has got space. Lewis decides to go on the right boot. She's going inside 50 for the Grizzlies, just short of a chance of taking a mark. Now going after it and picking it up and showing a clean pair of heels is Clifford. Clifford's shot on goal is well and truly wide. Mark for the Angels, deep in defence.
My April Lewis, man, she is now as Gabby Bureau will bring it out into the middle of the ground.
Oh!
Juggled and picked off. And kicked for a goal. Did he get it? Yes, she did.
I think it's the Captain Dickinson.
Yes, wow. She had her ears pinned back, and my goodness, with the quickness and the swiftness, and all of a sudden, Seattle is back into that one. Their first score of the game is a major one. That takes them on to 1 straight 6. They're back to within 2 points as Montreal 1-2-8 here on the Cooper's scoreboard. And I'll tell you what, the awareness of her to come through and bang it home, that's a game changer.
Like I said before, that 8 points is not a comfortable margin to sit on. And now let's see how Seattle react from here. Now that they've finally kicked their first goal of the tournament, they'll look at the scoreboard and they'll go, 2 points? You know what, there's a long way to go and we're in this. As the umpire throws the ball in the air. Now, there was a whistle on play for, I think, a player entering the centre square too early. So this is the thing that's, I guess, different at Nationals compared to some regionals or metro games where you don't have enough umpires. You might have the one umpire, not use the 2 umpire system where the second umpire will watch the square. And if you enter too early, you get pinned for a free against you.
Well, I'll say this, the USAFL Umpires Association really has tried to have 2 umpires in the game, so that's not really an excuse as the ball comes back in the middle. Bo finds a teammate, throws out one onto the right, up the far side, one-on-one contest. Here's Lewis again. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking mongrel kick. There is Sang out to the near side as it goes and found Dickinson, but in fact it will be a free kick. It'll go to Cho Sang, originally from Taiwan. Played for the Boston Lady Demons for a number of years, and a 25-meter penalty has been assessed.
Puts her in range. Now, this is a situation where she needs either Dickinson or needs Lewis. She needs a tall, talented player in the goal square. No, it's a very generous one. She could be within range here.
Yeah, I think so. I would give it to her, and I think this is kind of the edge of her reality, of, if I could speak frankly here. And in fact, I'm absolutely right as that one goes in short. Ball goes to the ground. That one's soccered off the ground. It's picked off. Montreal trying to get out of there quickly. Legault bent down and picked that one up off a blade of grass. Squirts out to the far side. Stayed with that one in as Crash Boom Opera bumper cars. Threw that one to the ground. They're still going after it as Seng chases her defender. Handballs up over the top. Picked off once again. Legault able to lay into the tackle. And that is a free kick. That's going to be given as a fair tackle to Valerie Moreau. She is the Canadian Bulldog, and she wins the free kick.
Yeah, I think one of the newer players there for Seattle took that, and they thought it was a mark instead of a handball and realised at the last second. Hurried little hand pass out. Umpire not calling a throw. Over the head of the football. Carr coming out afterwards, close towards the boundary. That went out. And now it will be a resulting ball back into play. It was Paul Boy and Carr trying to have a raffle between them of who would take that ball, and they had Moreau lurking in the shadows. As the ball is thrown back into play. One out there by Lewis. Put it to advantage of Paul Boy. What more can a Paul Boy do? That's what Split End sung. It's a great song from the True Colours album 1980. As the ball is on the ground, who can try and pick it up here? It's all just Montreal Angels. One bounce went without it, and Lewis is going to pick it up courtesy of the fumble there of the 4, who managed to get it to Dickinson. Dickinson with a hand pass inboard as she got cleaned up and knocked over. Thanks very much for coming. Now Hamilton tried to go in there. Drazen there. The umpire said throwing the football against Montreal, and it's Paul Boy with the free kick. She has it center wing broadcast side.
Given up by Joanna Rutkowski out to the near side. Up one-on-one contest. Juggled and taken by Dickinson. The heart and soul of this team as it juggled off the chest and took the mark. By the way, kudos for you for going split ends and not queen on that one. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. Out to the near side. Just stayed in the play. And then it's Leanders who comes back through. Wrapped up again there. And that is, now they're saying that she applied the tackle before she got the football. You can't do that. So that'll be a free kick to Montreal, holding on to that lead, which is, I believe it's still 2 points up in the air off the chest of Carr. And she stays with the footy nicely. The handball wasn't best as Bureau, she caught that in the ribs, and she was holding her ribs for a second. Big tackle in on Big Rutkowski. Ball on the deck. The ball out there is harder than 12th grade arithmetic. Great smother by Gabby Bureau, and the ball goes out of bounds. Great desperation on both sides of the footy from both teams, and the ball will come in with some Montreal hanging on to that 2-point lead.
30 seconds to go before half-time here. Just putting a head over the football. A hurried little kick up against the boundary line. Will they take clean possession and let it go out? It will. So I doubt there'll be any more score before the break. We've got 17 seconds to go till half-time here. And this Division 1 Pool A match between Seattle and Montreal. Montreal leading by 2 points. Margot Legault trying to charge her way through. Dickinson waiting out the back. Amy Legault coming after her. Amelia Carr now with the football. Goes for the right kick, looking for Okosa. Okosa takes the mark. We've got time expired. I don't know who's doing the timekeeping, but there it is. There's the whistle. Have they heard it? They haven't heard the whistle for half-time, so we're still going.
There it is.
And there it is. There's the whistle. That is half-time here at the Surf Cup Sports Park in San Diego. Surf Cup Sports Park, Del Mar. And it is 1-8 Montreal, Seattle 1 straight 6. An entertaining half of football. Safe to say, Montreal controlled the game for about 15 minutes. Seattle put up a great defence, and just that great goal by Dickinson, that great steal, that's just changed the game, and you can see the attitude from Seattle's really changed in the last few minutes of, my goodness, we're in this.
Yes, and I think they were taking, I was talking to Valerie yesterday, Valerie Barber-Axel, and she was saying that they wanted to take the game one at a time. All of a sudden, like you said, the goal has really changed it. They're up and about. They're winning the ball. They're getting to it a lot faster. Amelia Carr playing a great game out of defense. We mentioned Dickinson. We mentioned Poor Boy. We mentioned Bo. All of a sudden, I mean, a lot of people fancied Montreal to make it out of this group. I'll tell you what, not only are they at the same level, Seattle is playing up.
Well, Amy Legault's had a bit of the football, probably needs to work into it a little bit more. Moreau has been absolutely everywhere, but they'll be looking more from Leduc and Barreau. Yes. They'll be looking for more of them to create some more run and do more things. Margot Legault didn't have a few possessions, but she's sitting at half back, and you're not expecting that. You want her to have a quiet game, so therefore you know the ball's being played in your own half. So Margot Legault's having to try and come in, and you saw she's trying to create some things in the last minute. That's her on the ball, trying to charge through, trying to give some handball. So they've got some talented players, Montreal. They've got to start working their way into the game, get a couple of quick ones to try and take it away from Seattle, because the longer they go on with a smaller margin, the bigger in confidence the Grizzlies grow.
It's in any sport, Peter. If you let an underdog hang around, they'll get you. That's halftime. We'll be right back for the second half of this one. You're watching the 2017 USAFL National Championships here on USAFL.com.
We're about to learn how to teach our kids / teach ourselves how to kick a footy.
Okay, tips to kick the footy. Number 1, nose over toes, which means just going to be over the football. You don't want to be looking up to where you're kicking, you want to be over the footy. Laces to where we're kicking it. We're going to drop it and we're going to point our toe.
Nose to toes, and then we're dropping and not throwing up.
Good, perfect. We can go home.
I love that summer feeling. I don't want it ever leaving. Breathing in the sky that's so clear. I could spend my whole life right here. I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never leaving. Everything is possible right here. I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never leaving. Everything is possible right here. I love that let go feeling. I feel my hands up on the ceiling. I think I'll spend tomorrow out here.
happiness is calling at sandiego.org.
My first game, I stood there and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna run. I just kept going and I kept going to practice, I kept going to the games, and eventually it just clicked. And I was just like, oh, I get it now, like this is fun.
Aussie rules, is also known as footy, is the equivalent of like the NFL here, and so in Australia they call it AFL.
So in Australia it's still a huge sport, especially for the women. It's getting even bigger.
It's empowering for women, young women.
It's really great to just be able to run around and just have so much fun with a bunch of people that love the same sport that you do.
It just gives me this energy that I just can't describe, and it just brings me like so much joy.
It's a great physical outlet, but also the people that we play with are just so amazing.
These are the girls that if you want to dress up and go out, they'll be there for you. If you want to be in your sweatpants all day and eat chocolate and watch Netflix, they're also there for you.
I think that this sport has something for everyone.
I just feel like anyone and everyone should try it, give it a go, and just see if they like it.
If you're watching this video, it's not by accident. This is for you.
We're at the Surf Cup grounds in San Diego, California.
What's this? A Brian head? A Brian head running by?
Yeah.
A cardboard cutout of your head.
People are really weird.
Is this an American thing?
Yeah, it is apparently. 2017 USAFL. I'm surrounded by loonies. 2017 USAFL National Championships, as I try to restore some semblance of professionalism. Thanks to Ty Scott and Mike Frietta for doing that. I hate you both, but I love you at the same time. As we get set here, it's 8-6 halftime score as Montreal leads Seattle. Second half is underway. Here is here's Peter Holden.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to do the graphics at the same time and start the clock. Umpire, I think, just signalled for throwing the football there against Margot Legault. He's pointing out to a player who's going to get the free kick, or was it too high? He's waving certain conjectures, saying, oh, you should have hand passed, but you threw. And it was against the 34, so that means it's a free kick going the way of poor boy here it looks like for Seattle. So here's an opportunity for them early. They're down by 2 points. They scored the first goal of the tournament with 5 minutes to go in the first half. What can they do now? I think Bo's taken the mark. She has the football. She is around 65 metres out from home. Gets on the right boot. Awkward kick going inside 50. Bowled over a few players, including Hamilton. Got out the back door. A shot on goal. I think it's through. It is. She's celebrating. Morgan Clifford and Seattle are in front.
Holy crap.
Did anyone see this coming?
No, I don't think anybody did, except possibly the Grizzlies themselves. My goodness, they cut through that like a Ginsu through a nail and possibly a quarter. But just the Clifford and Bo just finding the holes in the defense. What the heck happened to punch it home? 2 straight 12. It's a 4-point lead to Seattle.
There's still a long way to go, 18.5 minutes, but I think what happened when the free kick happened, I think everyone from Montreal just went to sleep and didn't get into position, and it was just luck's a fortune, and Seattle made the most of it.
They needed a wake-up call from the hotel. Ball back into the middle of the ground as Rakowski getting set to go here. Wow, well, I'll tell you what, Montreal was very fancied when you looked at it on paper, and when you saw the Moreau and Leduc and the Legault sisters, and now here they are. Now still, as Peter said, still 18 minutes to go, plenty of footy to be played, as knocking that one out again. There is Lewis around the footy, the Western region best and fairest, even better than Hallie Kastanek. As she was stripped of the football, there was Leduc. Again, in there was Lewis getting rocked hard as Andrew Sijan was there, and we'll have a free kick. It'll go the way of April Lewis. So Lewis, wearing number 14, will take a look around. She'll go out to the right. That awkward drop cost her a decent kick. There is Bo, who had it go through the wickets there with Dickinson keeping vigil. And then she is stripped of the football. Is that going to be holding the ball? Yes, it is, as she dropped the footy. Free kick to Seattle. They have the momentum, and they have the notion.
And Dixon just looking around. What can she do? Gets on the right boot, goes towards the hot spot, 20 metres out directly in front, and a mark taken by Bo, Amanda Bo. Wowee, could this go out to a 10-point lead? Sorry, BT, the other BT, the Aussie one, for stealing your line there of wowee. In goes Amanda Bo. 2 steps, it's high, it won't get the distance, it will now, but away to the left for a minor score. Handy point, 5 points the margin here, and that's the first ever point kick by Seattle in a national tournament. 2-1-13, Montreal 1-2-8. Brian, we've only gone 3 minutes in the second half.
Plenty of footy to play out to the near side, finding go, and what's going to happen here? I wonder if she stepped over the line.
There's a question about if it was out or if it was a mark. Or no, what happened is the player on the mark, defensive mark, went too close, so the umpire thinks paid a 25 up the ground.
Yep, and now they come out to the near side. It is marked by Bureau. So here is Gabby Bureau looking for a target, goes out to the near side, putting her hand up and not taking the mark there. It skips through, picked up there by the 34 there in Parod, and then that one goes forward. A nice mark by Moreau, and she's got the speed, she's got the gumption. She will throw that one onto the right. That one will bounce away in towards the corner. Barbara Axtholm was there, swatted away by Bartulovic, and the ball will go out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Here comes Montreal.
What an intriguing matchup this is. They've taken Dickinson off off Moreau to free her up in the middle of the ground, and they've thrown Barbara Axtholm onto Moreau.
Well, I'll tell you what, something seems to be working, and I'll be honest with you, as good as Val is, I feel like Moreau, I mean, they're the same, I think, physical build, but Moreau is much faster, and the acceleration speed is a lot better. Acosta can't handle it, and the ball she is chaperoned out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. On the Cooper scoreboard, it's 2-1-13 for Seattle, 1-2-8 for Montreal here on USAFL.com. Peter Holden.
Ball is thrown back into play, hit the ground, and Parod was coming through but had nowhere to go. Had to go for a step back, one right boot kick and long. Gabby Bureau wants to try and chase up the football, but Amelia Carr's back there looking for a Kosa. April Lewis did some beautiful shepherding work to try and get Parod out of the way. Rakowski is there. Didn't work out for her. Hurry kick around the corner now. Trying to crap it now is Leduc. Leduc is immediately caught by Tegan Hamilton, who's grown in stature as the game goes on. Breaking through is DeFore. DeFore stays very wide, looking for Amy Legault. Legault's got it, went right, went left, got on the left boot, tried to center the football. It's smart, but who's it going to set for? Guess who? Very dangerous in Valerie Moreau. Slammed it on the right boot, going towards the top of the square. Plenty of hands are there. No one could hold on to it. Gordine is back there for Seattle. Hand pass away. Valerie Barbara Axtholm just slammed it on the boot. Moreau!
Wow.
Now, was that 15? No, it's not 15, but everyone was napping. She had a quick shot on goal where a player was cramping in the square, and it's away to the left. Oh, she needed to nail that. It's still a 4-point lead to Seattle. It's 1-3-9 Montreal. Seattle 2-1-13, 14 minutes remaining in the game.
Valerie Moreau, my good. You know what, Peter? She needs to be playing an AFLW, I think.
Players cramping up bad. Carr's cramping up. There's one for Montreal who's far in the distance behind the goal who's cramped up as well.
It's starting to get a trend, and it's only Saturday afternoon, folks. We've got one more set of games for each of these teams. There is Andrew Cision, who threw her foot, rather, that wasn't Andrew Cision there, number 7. That was Teleford, I believe. And either way, the ball will go up in the air with Rakowski on the bench. I believe that was Moreau. And then there is Hamilton. She's thrown off the footy, as is Leduc by Lewis. The ball comes to ground. Teleford able to go backwards. Will go, but it's picked off by Bow with one person ahead of her. Going to go and pick that up. There is the number 3 for Seattle. She's going to get away. Gets away from Kennedy. Yes, that was saying thank you. Ball comes to ground. went after the footy. Everyone down mushroom farming, picked up by Lewis, but Montreal has it. Finds Bureau. Bureau will take that one forward. Wing position on the near side. One-on-one contest. Dyke barked by Amy Legault, and away goes Amy Legault.
She puffed out the cheeks and decided to put on the afterburners. Kicked it forward. Wants to chase up her own kick. Wanted to punch it forward. Carr put the brick wall up and stopped her on the run through. Ball is in dispute. Barbara Axthelm dispossessed by Valerie Moreau. Did it spill free for Barrod? Couldn't get there. Now a secondary opportunity in the forward pocket. Was caught. Godin is there. Ball alive in the goal square. Opportunity for Montreal. Oh, they couldn't get the kick away. What defence from Seattle, only to get far as Moreau. Carr with her holds the football up. Top of the goal square. It stacks on the mill. Ball squeezes out. Leduc's looking around there as well. She can't get the football. Montreal win numbers. 25 metres out from goal. Big space. They can't get it. Hits the ground. Lewis charging through as well. She can't pick it up. I think it's Margot Legault that was in there. Try to get it out to her sister and Amy. Got the little hand pass back. Now another one back to Parod. Parod 35 metres out. Tries to centre it. Mark taken for Seattle.
My goodness, the bees are buzzing around the hornet's nest. You heard what I said. Back will come the other way as Dora Bortulovic was absolutely snake bit. She had 2 bites at the cherry but couldn't get to it. They knock it back, and running out of the back there is Dufour. Dufour sends that one in forward. It's going to roll. It's going to skip. It's going to be through 4 behind as Barbara Axthelm sees it through. My goodness gracious me, as that takes them on to 1-4-10. Back to a 3-point lead on the Cooper scoreboard. It is 2-13 for Seattle, and now the wind is shifted. It seems to be blowing across the field. Out of the back here is Valerie Barbara Axthelm. Began her footy career when she was living in Phoenix with the Arizona Hawks. Now comes to the near side. Intercept mark taken by Legault. She's going to play on quickly. She runs to 25, has a bounce, gets away, opens up the angle, throws that one in, stopped defensively by Seattle, but the ball's still on the doorstep. Picked up again there by Besner. Gets away, high in the air, one-on-one contest, and then away comes Marion Dickinson.
Dickinson took one bounce, then got on the right boot, dribbled about 40-50 metres forward. They've got some run. Leduc goes after the football, picks it up beautifully one-handed, goes for a bounce, got players on her hammer, goes long and high with the kick, try to park herself under there. Perot got knocked out of her hands by April Lewis. Ball still on the ground, getting bumped off the football there, and then trying to lay a secondary tackle was Helen Martin. The umpire said you did well enough. Your opponent was caught dropping the football, and you will get a resulting free kick. In fact, it's the 31, Charlotte Mann. Charlotte Mann right in front of our broadcast position. Peter Holton, Brian Barish with you on commentary. Mark Gonzalez on camera as they kick now towards the half-forward flank position. Dickinson charges her way through. Try to get it to Bow. Lost control of the football. Got it back to Poor Boy. Poor Boy ran inside 50. Flying shot at goal is a Barry Crocker. It is away to the left-hand side and out of bounds. We'll have it thrown, but importantly for Seattle, it is down their end of the ground, and they lead by 3 points with exactly 10 minutes remaining in the game.
Halfway home, the final quarter of the match. Can Seattle hang on over one of the best teams in AFL Canada, or will Montreal come from behind and take home the chocolates? Ball will come back in the middle of the ground. Out in the middle, Lewis. There was some friendly fire. She was knocked on her tuchus and is very slow. But there is Bow, who picks it up and kicks for a goal. It is through for a behind. And very slow to get up was April Lewis. But Amanda Bow bangs home another point. It stretches it back out to a 4-point game as 14 plays 10 on the Cooper scoreboard. Ball will come back into play from the back end. And out into the middle and taking the mark. That was Legault, and Margot Legault is slow to get up. So here is Margot Legault. Throws that one out onto the left side. Marked nicely by Amy, and there they come down the middle of the ground, sending that one out long. Some secondary argy-bargy off the football. Bending down to get to it there, and then picking that one up was and then taken down by Dickinson on Tremblay. Was that holding the ball?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was, absolutely. So Tremblay didn't have the speed, but Marion Dickinson certainly did. Free kick from the halfback flank. What can they do, Seattle?
The captain is lifting. The captain is lifting at the crucial time. She goes with a short kick. Got to be good. Oh, straight through the hands there. The player that couldn't hang on, and Helen Martin. Ball went to ground. Trying to get there is Talifa. She wanted to get out the hand pass. Didn't go too far. Going in again is Martin. Wraps up a tackle. The umpire says it's going nowhere. Crosses himself like the Monsignor, and we will call for a ball up. Right in front of our broadcast position, youtube.com/USAFL. Ball is up in the air. Lewis wins up 3 players in the ruck. Technically, that should be a free kick. And Lewis is asking the question as well, and the umpire says that's without the football, and it's Martin that gets a resulting free kick.
No, that was yeah, it was. No, I thought
Martin gets the free kick. She has to go back and accept her free kick. So...
Sorry, I thought she had called the Kennedy for the tackle.
Well, it must be either too high or without it, but Helen Martin has the resulting free kick for Seattle. And when you're up, you got to stay wide. That's the smartest option to do. A kick was short there to Leduc, who dropped it, then said a curse word. Ball is close towards the boundary line. They come over the top of Leduc. Martin knocks it out, and we will call for a ball in. Right in front of our broadcast position. Exactly 7.5 minutes remaining in the game, and it is currently a 4-point lead to Seattle. Rakarski out to Perrott, out the back door. That's what they're trying to do. Use the central corridor to open it up. She was looking for Barreau. Couldn't get her. Amy Legault is immediately caught. Tries to get the hand pass out. Rakowski almost threw the football out. April Lewis goes after it. Gets it. Gets a little hand pass back. Dickinson dangerous across the face into the corridor when they really want to stay wide. Out there is Bo. Bo's got the football. She goes for the hand pass. Got a player over the top. Is told to run. That's Poor Boy. Poor Boy gets the kick away before being caught by Perrott. Ball is at centre half back for Montreal. Can they work it back the other way is the question. Mark being taken on the outer side, and holding it up is the number 32 in Amelia Dufour.
Here comes Montreal, still trailing by less than a kick. As they kick that one up on the far side. Ball goes to ground as Barbara Axthelm held her up, and she will not get paid anything. That'll be a ball up opposite side.
What defensive pressure from Seattle.
Absolutely. 6.5 to go. 14-10 to the Grizzlies lead here. Trying to go to 1-1 after losing and still have an outside chance. Here is Margot Legault. Throws that one onto the right foot out into the middle of the ground. Tapping it to herself there as a Seattle player. Over to get it is Perrott, who threw in a hip and shoulder. Taking her down there, and that one squeezes out. I think that was a coaster, but in fact,
it is
a coaster, and the umpire will say, "Give it to me, baby." And the only one there was Amelia Carr, and she wins an easy tap out. She handballs it back to Dickinson. She'll go in short. It stops in front of Legault, who sends it back from whence it came, over the head of a teammate, going after her sister and Amy now, as she couldn't handle it cleanly. Ball goes to ground. Second effort. Third effort was pretty good too. Umpire says, and he will point out a free kick. That is a Canadian-based umpire, Brian Duncan, I believe, and he is awarded a free kick, not a ticket. That's just weird. And it will be a free kick to Larissa Andrews-Sijan, who will send it forward.
In fact, it's Caroline Leduc who now goes with her kick and goes it long to Amy Legault. It takes a mark. Under 5.5 minutes remaining. Amy runs on. She gets goal side. Most importantly, gets on the left boot. Long and high towards the goal square. Got tapped off hands. Will they try and rush it through, or will it go out towards the pocket? Very close towards the boundary line. Has it gone out? No whistle called. Amelia Carr goes in there. She throws her body on the football. Ball is still wide. Hurry kick. Dickinson takes it. Umpire pays the mark. Says it went to 15 required. They've got to stay. You can hear the stay wide's the call, and that ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Score at the moment, 2-2-14 to 1-4-10. It's a tip for women's football anywhere that if you do have the lead and you're up, because there is no time on, you stay wide, because if it goes out, it kills the time, and time is your friend.
Absolutely. Ball comes back in the play as Legault went looking for it. She's going to get the crumbs. Bootlegs around, throws that one onto the left. Wynn's going to bring that around. Drops in front of a teammate there in Besner. Goes out to the far side. Moreau gets on her horse. She was bumped off the football. Comes back into play. Here is Moreau. Rocket ducks to the inside. Almost gets away from a second tackle, except she was claimed the second time. And that's a great tackle in there by the 13 from Seattle, who is?
The 1
113.
and only 13 in Amelia Carr.
Thank you so
Who's
much.
a star player. I should know because she's a star player with the yellow boots. Very good in San Francisco, despite them not scoring. She was solid in defence and is lifting at the moment as she decided to go with a long kick, trying to find Peterson there on the half-back flank. Couldn't pick her up. In goes Kepron. She throws a good old hip and shoulder in there. Amy Legault is being blocked out there by Akosa. Going in there is, I think it was Hamilton. No, in fact, it was the 14 in April Lewis. He got the hand pass over the top. Now the kick up the wing position. Staying wide Seattle, which is their thing. Montreal, though, want to try and turn over the football. Legault tries to get onto it. Couldn't do so. Being spun around and maybe being pinned for dropping the football there is Besner, and the umpires paid the free kick against her. Got spun the full 360, has to cough it up. So an opportunity for Montreal. They find themselves with 3 minutes 23 seconds remaining in this game, and they find themselves down by 4 points. Can they find a way through to goal? In goes Moreau chasing after the football. Can't get a clear run. She's blocked. Poor boy's there. Try to get a hand pass out. Umpire throws the hands in the air. He's screaming, play on, play on. And they blow the whistle and will call for a ball up. 25 metres out from goal, Brian. The Angels desperately looking to put one through the big sticks.
My goodness, what a game this turned out to be. Moreau went to the near side, found a teammate who got dropped, stood up and held up, and the whistle blows. As getting held up there was Evelyn Moisson. And the umpire has it in his paws. He chucks it into the air. Gravity takes effect. Rutkowski wins that one out again to Moisson. Now kick that one forward. There's a purple jumper there. Knocked down and then spinning away from Parad. Sending that one long and strong down the middle. It's out in the cow paddock. Over to get to it. Oh, big hit put on quickly. Having to go back now. Circles back is Montreal. Drops in front of Lewis. She stuck out her foot. It bounced away. Probably didn't want to do that in the end. Here is Parad again. Throws out one onto the right. It's going to skip by. Here is Rutkowski. Boy, but that's a long way to go down to have to pick up the footy. In fact, she doesn't get it. Spinning away, and that's going to be a high tackle, high contact across. And the free kick will be paid there to the number 44, I believe, was the number in Ella Guckus. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, less than 2 minutes to go on the Cooper scoreboard. Seattle hanging on by 4 points.
She was looking for Moreau, but Carr intercepted the mark. Now, Carr can't go down the corridor. She has to stay wide, and that's what she does. She goes with a long high kick, but no one going up there against the number 7 in Talifer. Talifer takes a mark. 1 minute 35 seconds remaining in the game. Talifer looking further afield. Needs an opportunity. She decides to stay wide, looking for Legault. It goes out. Oh, geez, that kills a few seconds off the clock. Minute 22 remaining. Seattle holding a 4-point lead, 2-2-14 to 1-4-10. Here on youtube.com/USAFL. Peter Holden and Brian Barish in commentary. Mark Gonzalez on camera. Here's the hurry kick around the corner by Amy Legault. Mark taken deep in defence, and Gordin takes it. She's going to kill the clock. She has to be told to stay wide. She's looking for the dangerous switch. That's not the smart option to do when you're ahead like that. Looking for Lewis. Went past her. Hamilton is there as well. Trying to get into the contest there is the player there in Talifer. Wanted to get a hurried hand pass out. Blocking being put on. Leduc going after the football. Can Leduc pick it up? Dancing around. One big punch. Was it a throw or a punch? The umpire said it was a fair handball. We've got 39 seconds remaining in the game. Trying to rugby throw out of it, but luckily the umpire had actually blown the whistle for a ball up just before she had let go of the football. 28 seconds remaining in this game. Can Seattle hold on? Can Montreal pinch it? Nearly got Falcon Lewis. Talifer gets all wrapped up, and the umpire from a distance has pulled out a free kick for too high. What drama. Brian, 14 seconds remaining.
Last roll of the dice for the Montreal Angels. Talifer has the football. 50 meters out. She goes in short. It's marked.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's time.
That is, and so here is Dora Bartulovic, who is going to get the free kick. So here is Bartulovic. A goal will win the game. Anything else will not. Bartulovic, who played for the Midnight Suns several years ago. It is a Seattle victory. The Seattle Grizzlies have pulled this one out unbelievably. They have defeated the first-time club. They get their first ever Division I victory, and they do it over one of the best teams in Canada, the Montreal Angels. The final score on the Cooper scoreboard, the Seattle Grizzlies 2-2-14, Montreal 1-4-10. What a game.
What an absolute match. And they made the most of the opportunities with the Dickinson goal, the intercept, and put that through the middle. And then I think it was for Poor Boy and Bo down the other end. They had that free kick. Montreal were caught napping. And that's all it took. Montreal were napping for about 10 seconds, and the Grizzlies made the most of it. And there it is. We talk about history. Today, LA, as a club, won their first one in Division 2. Texas Heat won their first ever one in women's in Division 2. And now a first here in Division 1. The debutants, the Seattle Grizzlies, who were probably feeling pretty grim when they didn't get on the scoreboard against San Francisco, are going to walk away from the Nationals regardless of what happens tomorrow. They walk away with their first ever victory at Nationals.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's about building a program. And every single player, I'm sure they'll want to come back, but to have that experience, it's something that sticks in your mind. And no matter what happens tomorrow, they're going to want to come back next year.
Exactly, because it's that little thing of, we can do it. It's possible. We can do it.
Against a very good team today.
And exactly, and they get to show this video back to players that they want to recruit. And their numbers have gone from 3 to 21 in the space of 12 months, which has been incredible. They get to show girls, no, we got a great atmosphere. Look, we won a game at Nationals, and that was our first year, which makes girls go, wow, if that's your first year, how will go in year 2 and year 3? And they will want to come back, and they'll want to play great football. And I tell you what, for Portland, who won their game in Division 2 as well, for football up in that northwest corner, things are looking very exciting.
Especially when you add, we got to talk about AFL Canada when you talk about Vancouver as well. But I'll tell you what, Peter, I mean, there is still a little bit of drama tomorrow, even though the percentage with that big loss to San Francisco. If they win tomorrow, man, if they beat, if they get the third win from their group, or in the third game from their group, my goodness, I mean, that'll put, and we don't know how Montreal will do. Now, seeing how they played today,
you would have to tip San Fran, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, and there's a lot of time between now and tomorrow.
And you see them coming off the ground. They're throwing their hands up in the air. The first ever Seattle Grizzlies win at the USAFL Nationals. Boy, you could just see the likes of Poor Boy, Lewis particularly, Amelia Carr, the captain and Dickinson. Though you could just see them, and Valerie Barbara Axton with a lot of tackling pressure with a job on Moreau, who just didn't let her get off the leash. You just saw them growing confidence as the game went on.
And you know what about Barbara Axtell? I think she's very underrated, and I think the best and fairest at the Liberty really shows that she is a very good football player. That in the Terry Tupper style, I feel like a very diminutive player who is very tenacious. That's going to do it for this one. My goodness, a historic victory for the Seattle Grizzlies as they get up over the Montreal Angels 14-10. For Peter Holden and for Mark Gonzalez on camera, this is Brian Barish saying so long from the National Championships of 2017 for the USAFL.